Hi, welcome back to my channel, Our Blissful Chaos. I'm Omega, and today I'm going to be talking about our exercise room routine, how we got that started, how we keep that up. So you might have seen this room if you watched my last video of our homeschool spaces tour. I got some questions saying, what was that program you mentioned? Or how do you get your kids to work out? Or like, what do I even do? So I'm just going to briefly tell you our journey with exercising while we homeschool, because I know that can be kind of an issue because it's hard to squeeze that in when you're thinking academics, homeschooling, and doing the studies and the books. That's really easy, but it's kind of hard sometimes to get that physical education that kids need. So to start off, we started homeschooling back in, Connor was almost 4, so it was 2009. No, he's almost 5, I'm sorry. 2009, and one of the things Gavin had mentioned is if we homeschool, I want him to be physically active. So at that time, we put him in Taekwondo, and we did that for 4 or 5 years. He made it up to the rank of a black belt. We did that like 3 times a week. He was extremely active, so working out was just part of our routine. It was honestly probably the most structured part of our schooling because, we had a class to go to, we had to be there at a specific time, and, you couldn't just wing it. You couldn't just make it up or be like, we're not feeling it today. He had classes to attend, so that was helpful in the beginning. And we moved in 2014 away from our town, away from our school, and we tried to find other places to enroll him, but we eventually didn't. And so for a couple years there, we had that struggle of fitting in exercise in our routine. And at that time, we were even living in an RV, so this was not possible. What I did with that is we lived really close to a marsh. There was like a running trail. It was outside, so I would just take them outside to run and play. It wasn't like a huge routine that we did. There wasn't any lifting, but they're little. About lifting, we don't usually have the kids actually lift like free weights like what you see here. We don't actually start them on that until like 10, 11, depending on the kid. Just because their bodies are still developing. And honestly, you guys, I defer to my husband when it comes to things like that because he's the one that's done all the research. So I'm just giving you, imparting the wisdom that he's given to me. So we don't actually start them on free weights until they're a little older. We do like the bands. If you can see in this corner here, I have a rack with the bands set up. They can do that sort of exercises. The program that we use now is called Athlean-X, and I'm using it, my husband's using it, Connor and Orrin are using it. And it's an amazing program. We've tried so many. I, for years, did Jillian Michaels programs, which were great, but they were just they get boring and stale after a while. I'm sure if you've tried these programs, they just they get boring. And what I like about Athlean-X is it's a 3-month program, and it progresses in stages from super basic, and you can do it in your home gym, or you can do it if you have a gym membership. They give you exercises for you to do there using the equipment, but it's about building an athletic body and not just losing weight and not just putting on bulk. Jeff is the instructor. He teaches in a way that is best for your body and how your body moves. And I've seen great results with it. To be honest, you guys, I hate working out. I hate it. It's not one of my favorite things to do, But because I have such active children, being able to keep up with them is important to me. So I've had to just bite the bullet and start exercising. And this has been my favorite. We've been consistently doing this since January is when we started this program, and I love it. I know I hate working out, but I love it. It's easy to follow. Not always super simple because, you don't have that strength in the beginning, but I'm seeing results and I'm happy with it. I'm seeing results in my boys. They are doing great in their other classes that they take outside of here that we require. So I'm going to talk about their classes. So my kids attend a school, a couple cities away. It's not very far. And they do parkour, breakdancing, tumbling, and my daughter does aerial silks. And we've been doing that since 2018. They really were into the whole parkour thing. And I found a school and we started going 2 days a week. It's extremely awesome. They are getting so great at it. The skills they build, the strength they build is fantastic. So they do that. They used to do it 2 times a week, then 3 times a week, but I've cut it back to 1 time a week just because we were never home and getting school done in the car was difficult. So I'm like, you guys can pick one day and you can do that. So Connor and Oren did the parkour program for a long time. They recently switched to tumbling because they reached a stage in parkour where they were doing their flips and they were lacking confidence in it. So they switched over to tumbling to try and build those skills so they can master their flips. Liam does breakdance. Liam doesn't really work out in here at all. He mostly does breakdance moves, and I found a couple channels thanks to his coaches that they break down the moves so that he can practice, and he practices either in our downstairs schoolroom where I push the table up. Again, go ahead and watch the video and you can see what I'm talking about, or he practices in our living room. I just roll up the rug and he just works on the moves. Fiona does aerial silks. She wasn't tumbling. Actually, she's done all of it. She's done parkour, she's done breakdance, she's done tumbling. She's my one that has branched out and been like, I want to try this, I want to try this. And then once she tries it, then her brothers usually follow suit. Although they haven't tried aerial silks, but I said no because I wanted her to have her own thing that she specialized in. So unfortunately, I don't have an aerial silks, rig set up in my house. I really tried to get Gavin to install one, but logically speaking, it was just not in the cards. The house was not set up for that. We'd have to put in a beam and we're renting right now. So it just wasn't possible. So hopefully someday I can get my girl her aerial silks set up. But for now, she's just playing outside, doing her little bar exercises when she feels like it. She does work out on the pull-up bar, and just because she's doing aerial silk, she has that really strong upper body arm strength. So, when she needs to kind of get some moves in to really work her arms, she'll do pull-ups. But I don't let her do free weights, and honestly, I don't let her do the bands all that often. I don't think it's super important. To me, she's getting enough exercise just with her class, her regular playing, and her body weight training. Again, I'll put links down to who they use for body weight training. They found his name, Chris Harria, and they do his videos. He's actually pretty amazing. His videos are easy to follow. They're intense. I can't do them. But my kids like using his videos for body weight training. Another reason why physical education is such a big deal to us is because we are a family of gamers. My kids love playing video games. Gavin actually works for a video game company. So he's seen what video gaming can do to the body, because you're sitting there in front of a screen playing all the time. So he wanted the kids to, you know, have a foundation of taking care of my body is important. And that was another reason for the mandatory hour workout. And by the way, I don't think I've mentioned it, but it's an hour a day, all throughout the week. They don't get weekends off. With the Athlean-X program, there is 2 rest days, but one of the rest days for the kids happens to be on the day they go to parkour, and then we require the other rest day to be stretching, like yoga or just, you know, your basic stretching, just to keep them limber. So you might be thinking, okay, that's pretty cool. I love your workout room. How do you get your kids to do it? And I think for us, we started early on letting them know that your physical body, taking care of yourself, exercise was extremely important. Gavin was a better example of this than I was, because I hated working out. But it did dawn on me at some point. It was right before I got pregnant with Fiona. I was like, okay, I need to be active, because you know, at that time I was taking my kids on hikes, we were going to the beach. We were always on some sort of adventure. And I had 3 kids. I was younger, so it did help, but you get tired. And I didn't want to be tired when I was out with my kids, so that's when I started working out. So aside from imparting how important physical health is, we also had the rule that you couldn't hop on your video games until your workout was done. And that was the rule for a good number of years. It's kind of still the rule for my littles. But honestly, with my older 2, Connor is almost 16, Oren's 11, and they've had a routine for so long of working out and having a time to work out that it's worked into our academic schedule. It's on their loops, that when that time of the day comes, even on, you know, the weekends, they'll come down and do their workout at that time, just because it's a routine. They're used to it. They'll pause their game and they'll come do their workout. And I honestly just credit that to building that foundation when they're young and getting them used to it, so they don't ever really forget that, hey, I need to work out even though it's not a school day and I'm not on my normal routine. They'll still pause their games and come down and do their workout. My littles are extremely active. They like their video games and their screen time, but they spend so much time outside that it's okay with me. It's a good balance. When I start to see that it's not a good balance, that's when we have that conversation, like, hey, you're spending too much time on your screen, you're not spending enough time getting your exercise in. And it's just a conversation, you know. They're usually like, oh yeah, I just forgot, or, you know, they're not opposed to it, they need reminders. So that is kind of how we handle the exercise, getting them to do it. But more importantly, they see Gavin and I doing it. And I think that is huge. It is kind of a principle of Thomas Jefferson education, and it's you, not them. You work on yourself, and then your kids will see it. And that falls into their other quote is, inspire, not require. So by us putting our physical health and prioritizing our physical health, and they see it, it inspires them to be like, hey, I can do this. And trust me, my kids are way more athletic and healthy than I am. And me struggling through this, they see it. They see me sweating and struggling and, you know, not having the best time, but still getting back to it every single day. That's inspiring. Like, I've had Fiona tell me, like, I am so happy that you work out. Like, that looks really hard, but that's great that you do it, you know? And you know, hopefully someday I will be able to go parkour with them, or I can be with Fiona up on a silk doing all the crazy moves. And that is a goal for me as a mom, to be able to join in with my kids in their passions, because they are truly passionate about these things. And I would love nothing more than that. So that's what keeps me going on those days where I'm really dreading my workout and dreading having to, you know, get into this room and work my butt off, because it can get hard, you guys. Try the Athlean-X program and you will know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I hope you guys, you know, got some ideas, found some inspiration for getting that physical education in with your kids. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them down in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.